We're back for session number, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This would be 4. Jeremy, you're number 4 tonight.
Yeah. Hey.
Jeremy Martorano is with me tonight, and he's going to be talking about lighting. He's been on before, and we've talked about projectors. We've talked about some lighting in the past. We want to talk a little bit more about moving from that basic light show that all of us have. And Jeremy, Brech, we kind of talked a little bit about that earlier, but we're going to take it a little bit farther now because we want to really dig into, what that next step is, because this is the time of the year where we start thinking, gosh, I need to step up my game for 2017.
Sounds good. I like that. Yeah, definitely.
Will that get us there?
All right. So typically, you can definitely go in a lot of different directions when you're talking about lighting. And also, too, depending on what your abilities are, we have actually transitioned from primarily a DJ company to a production company. So we're dedicated to doing what we do, and we have a crew that really helps it. So in that respect, it helps us do a lot of some of these photos I'm going to show you. They're bigger productions, but the concepts are pretty simple, and I think anybody can really make these transitions, even on a small scale.
Before we get into photos and such, Jeremy, now you mentioned, of course, production company and the DJ side of it. If you could break down kind of the percentages of your business that is this and is that, what would you say that is? Is it a 50-50, 70-30?
Actually, I've transitioned all the way through, so I am now 100% production.
Okay.
So yeah. I was a DJ for 20 years. And loved it. I'm still going to do some club stuff, but as far as the mobiles go, I need to focus all my energy on the production now. That's my creative outlet now. So.
Now, was that because of it being a creative outlet, or are you finding that the production side was much more profitable than the DJ side?
Let's see. Probably both. As the production side, we are, I have a passion for lighting and graphic design and some of this other stuff. So it was allowing me to be a little more creative in that respect. When DJing and music, as we all know, it's very subjective to what people are liking.
At that moment, yeah.
You could play the same song every night, in a row, and it would just happen, people take it a different way. The lighting, it's a pretty fixed effect. I can predict how it's going to look and how it's going to be perceived. So I kind of like that stability. After 20 years of trying to read people's minds in the DJ community, I was just like, I just need a break right now. And it's kind of cool because I actually get to sit back and listen to other DJs now when I'm actually the lighting guy. And it's really cool. I get to really appreciate that a lot. So it's kind of nice.
Cool.
But also too, as far as the money goes, we were never a single op. I worked for another guy. So I was actually just being subbed out, and I made a good living like that. I was able to, of course, pay our bills, and all that time I was focusing on building the lighting production company. But now being the pure business owner, I think the margins are just going to be higher anyways than DJ. Because, even I know a lot of the guys who still, they're getting like $3, $4, $5 grand for the DJing, but it's a few. I think most of the guys in our market are getting anywhere from $800 to $1,500 for their DJing.
Right.
So we're going a lot beyond that now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, kind of a little sidebar there, gang. But sometimes those are good questions that you just kind of start wondering and want to get that. Jeremy, we're going to take a quick break here for our sponsors, and when we get back, let's dive into some pictures and talk about some specifics when it comes to upgrading our light shows.
Sounds good.
These are the DJNTV sponsors for fall 2016.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Top Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
All right, we are back. We are here with Jeremy. We're going to be talking about upgrading our lighting, taking it to the next level for your DJ company. So, Jeremy, let's dig into it. What do you have for us?
Cool. So, everybody's pretty much doing the uplighting, even pin spotting to a certain extent. If we have time, I'm going to show you some more creative ways to actually use your pin spotting. I guess, but I wanted to show you some pattern washes first. This is going to be the fun, creative stuff that everybody's going to really want to, I think you're going to want to see. So let me share the screen real quick. And well, that's just my little. So if I go full screen, does that show now?
Yep. I'm seeing the side of the PowerPoint too. There now. That's so I've got that full screen, and then you and I are in the lower corner of it.
All right. Cool.
So
we'll just talk about pattern washes. So first off, pattern washes are, we use source 4s to project all of our images. Any gobo projector will do this. I think the Chauvet, the LF7 or LF5, or I forget what it's called, but there's a lot of LED ones out there. We do the straight out source 4s, which are theatrical fixtures, and these use metal gobos. This is pretty much all we ever use these for. We don't do our gobos, our names and monograms anymore with these, because we do those all digitally, which we've talked about already. Yep. So here, this shows the pattern washes. This is just a fantastic way to add a huge decor element to a room. I mean, it just plays so big, as you can see here. And, these, they're really hot sellers for us. And you're going to see this pattern here in almost a lot of the photos I'm going to show you. This almost paisley, I think it's from Roscoe. This pattern is our biggest seller. People just love it. It's the most universal, I think, for weddings. It looks really, really fantastic. So the cool thing about the Source 4 is that you can pick up a used one for like $230 or $260 online, or maybe in your market, you probably find them somewhere used. And they're like workhorses. They're almost like our Technics 1200s from back in the day. They still work after 20 years. They're going to work. There's no way to kill these things. And so even picking up a used one, you're going to be pretty darn good. Here we can see, even on the dance floor, we do these. And you can see, do you see my mouse?
Yep.
Fantastic. Cool. So you can see the stand. Oops, wait, go back. You can see the stand right over here. And, we have white sleeves on our pipe and bass. So that way it kind of hides it pretty much. I wish we had white Source 4s. We'll get into that eventually. Those are expensive. But, these are great. We get this one requested a lot now. And once they see this photo, a lot of people want this. So
yeah, very nice.
And then, on the dance floor here, we will typically do the dance floor pattern wash when as long as it's a big enough dance floor. We want to, I don't want it to be totally on the bride and groom. I mean, sometimes it looks cool. Like this one, it looks pretty decent. But sometimes you don't want those lines going across.
That was my question. I was going to ask if you had the conversation with the bride and groom to stay on the end, so they had the dramatic effect of the pattern on the floor, and then that.
Yeah, usually we do, unless we have a spotlight on them that'll wash it out.
Right.
And then it's fine. We do that sometimes as well. But a lot of these, so this one, I think I just saw someone who was asking about where are these Source 4s placed. Oh, then he said, never mind, but I'll show you on this one. A lot of these, this one on the left photo here, it's just on a tripod that's about 12 feet up in the air. You get it as nice as tall as you can. And then I think we were using a 50-degree lens, maybe a 36. I think it's a 50-degree lens on this one. That's the cool thing about Source 4 is you can get different degree lenses, unless you get a zoom fixture that allows you to go from 25 to 50 degrees. We don't have a lot of those, so we typically do the fixed lenses, and we have a lot. It's more of an investment, but it works out really well.
How many Source 4s are you using in a typical event, if there is such a thing?
Well, no typical event. This one on the left was just one on the dance floor. This one on the right was, I think this was 2 on the seated area, this leafy area. That first photo you saw, I think we did 8 in that room. I think the most I've ever done is 10 in a room, but usually it's, and I think it's, now this one's 2. It really just depends on the effect you want to do. So this is actually 2 different gobo, well, 2 of the same patterns, but two source 4s from the left and right. And we just kind of skated in, behind the head table. I mean, yeah, we were kind of hitting some of these people on the ends a little bit in the face, but that's the sacrifice of a good looking wedding sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Our goal is really to keep it out of people's eyes as much as possible. Sometimes when they say, I want it to be floor to ceiling, you kind of got to go for it sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's a really cool, combination of photos. This is the same venue, shows you a little bit different what you can do. So most of the pattern washes that we do are very literal. If you see on the left here, I mean, you see a texture, you see a pattern, you can identify it. On the right, there's an effect glass that can go to be used in conjunction with any gobo you want. And it does this cloudy, kind of just breaks it up and makes it look like clouds, mercury, whatever. It's just like our abstract texture patterns. And this is 2. Over here, this is 2 source 4s. We have 1 down here underneath the stairs that's shooting up to hit the ceiling. And you can kind of see the line right here where it stops. And then the one on the 2nd floor to hit the rest of the stairs. This has been huge, especially in these more modern venues like this one. We did this two times this past weekend, and we do this quite a lot, at this venue. So it looks really nice. Yeah. Then going into some of the themes, this was a Halloween wedding. So this one was the trees. Now, the thing to think about with the source 4s or with the pattern washes, these are tree branches. You can apply any different color to it, but in reality, if you think about it, the logic here is the light shining through the trees is meant to be the sky. Yeah. So, so if you want to really get into deep, a deep philosophy, I like that, the theory behind it. You can see the lights here on the stands. They're about 10 feet up. And just go back. I try to click it. I'm so used to zooming in on my phone and can't do that. So, but we had them over here to just kind of come at a harsh angle. It was a Halloween wedding. They look great. We've used these in other venues or for a winter wedding, and we put blue on it, and it just changed the entire look of it and feel. So here's the one that we did 10 with. And this was a really low ceiling, and you can see all of them on stands around the perimeter of the room. And we top mounted them. This is actually using a really thicker pipe with 50-pound base plates. But this one, I told the bride, she's like, I want it to look like we're in a forest. I want it to be, floor to ceiling. And I told her in the room with this size ceilings, we're going to be blinding people sitting around the corner, around the edge of the room. Right. And she didn't care. She really didn't care. She's like, I want it to look awesome. I'm like, that's fine with me as long as you're okay with that. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it's when people look in the light. So, I know a lot of people are going to be asking, what we typically sell a pattern wash for is usually about $150, per pattern. So you can multiply this times whatever you want. It was 10 lights in here. This was definitely the majority of her budget was on this effect. But a lot of times it's, if you can double up the stand, sometimes you can reduce the price, but usually we just kind of stick with that $150 for the pattern washes. And unless it's, we've acquired some of the gobos. If they want a custom gobo, like that first one that was on the dance floor, that chrysanthemum flower, the 4 of them on the dance floor, we created that custom for her. And so then we charge them a little extra for the cost of the custom gobos, but then we have it in our inventory, which is really cool. So it's nice to do that. Here, the middle one is actually digital. That's our video projection. But this left one over here was Alice in Wonderland theme party. So we did we took a poker gobo, or casino gobo with the different cards, playing card logos or images on there, and then projected that since it worked with the whole Mad Hatter and all that. And then down on the bottom right, snowflakes. Those are really popular. Just a static gobo snowflake. That one was a neon Christmas, so we actually put neon colors over it. It was kind of neat. Mm-hmm. But going on with the pattern washes, this is in the past probably about 2 years, we've really started pushing these a lot more. And it has become one of our biggest sellers. And not only for inside of a ballroom where you can show like the big effect on the walls, outside too. I mean, as you see, we do a lot of outdoor events. And this, not only does it provide a decor element, it provides light for your guests to see. And
sure.
as long as you're not blinding them, but you get your light high enough and it'll be fine. And they just go bonkers over these things. I mean, these things sell like hotcakes. It really does.
Yeah, very nice look.
Somebody was asking what projector we're using. These are all Source 4s. The projector, the digital one, was an Epson Powerlight 1940. Go back, watch some of our previous videos. We talk a lot about those. Yep. Here again, it's just it's add some really cool textures out there. So here's some of the stands that we use. I know I've learned from past chats. Everybody likes to see behind the scenes.
Yes.
So you could do this same concept right here on the left, or as with the tripod. Honestly, we do a lot of corporate events and higher end weddings, and this is our biggest selling feature, is that it's very streamlined. It's going to disappear. Obviously you see it here, but in the night, it's really, it just blends in. We see a lot of people out there that have these, they'll sidearm this light, so basically they would just use a C-clamp and it would be sticking off the side here, and it would just look like this weird little tumor sticking off the pole. Right. And so we, if you're only putting one light on there, go top mount. And that the mount that we did is just that on stage speaker mount, external speaker mount. Yeah. That's all it is, because we just drilled extra holes in it so that way we could put our Source 4 in there. And we'd use that for a lot of fixtures. We use that for our moving heads if we have the top mount onto a pole. Those things are fantastic. They're like $7 from Guitar Center or anywhere online, really. Sure.
Now, is there some sort of again, here's where my eyes aren't exactly great enough to tell for sure. Is there some sort of a scrim on that, or some sort of a fabric?
Oh, yeah. Yes, So what we've got here is we cover all of our poles in black sleeves or white sleeves, depending on the event. It helps so that way you can run your cables up there. You can hide them. You can see on the projector over here on the left too. That's what we do. We cover all of our poles with fabric, because this base plate, and I have a picture of this in a minute, but this base plate, that's an SSRC base plate, and we get that from a specialty store. But the pipes that we use, we actually just get from Home Depot. It takes 1.5 inch pipe, but we use a reducer to bring it down to 1 inch pipe, because those are a lot easier to carry when you're at a gig. And if I were to pull this sleeve down, you would see that actually all of our pipes, we have a 6-footer, and then we bring like 1s and 2s and 3-footers, so we can extend to the height that we need. So that way we don't know what room we're going to be in, or sometimes we plan on it, but we get surprised a lot.
Sure.
And like just this past weekend, I was supposed to do a gobo on the back wall, but I walk in and there's just all this foliage and flowers, and I'm like, where am I supposed to put this? So I put it on the dance floor. So if I had just gone in there with a 6-foot pipe, I would have been screwed. Mm-hmm. So I always bring a 6, 2, and a 1 pipe, and that lets me go up about 9-10 feet in the air. Right. So that was perfect. So you can get all your pipes from Home Depot. This base plate is going to run you about $150, $200, depending on where you are with shipping. Ooh. But so you can use a tripod. Honestly, you can totally go with the tripod. We've done it. We still do it quite often. But this is just our streamlined look. The sleeves here are actually, you can get them. We had some custom made from stretchyscreens.com. They're really cool. Or we also have pipe and drape. If you go to, I think, exclusively expo.com, and you can get pipe and drape sleeves, and it comes in a roll of like 42 feet, and it's like $30-$40, I think. And you can just cut the lengths that you need, and it's really fantastic. You can get black or white. So that's cool. What we use a lot of these. Here are the base plates. So this is the left one is the standard Altman base plate. That was like the industry standard for the past 100 years or so. I don't know how long. And this is the newer version, the SSRC base plate. They're both 50 pounds, but you can see it has handles here. It has holes that you can attach different things to. You can even, the feet on the bottom take a screw. So you can actually get adjustable feet in there. And it's flatter too, and it has a handle. I mean, they're just great. So.
Now, your base plates, were they black?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
They are black. And, we've never really run into a problem where we needed to have them all white. If it is, then we just put a white fabric over it. That's
sure.
all.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what I made here. So all these next photos are all surprise to me too. So. Well, this one I thought would be really cool. This one we just did this past Sunday at 7 a.m. That was fun. But I thought this would be really cool to show. And I'll get back to source fours or pattern washes in a second. But again, this is our digital projection. We're doing a gobo here. On the right was our walkthrough, our setup on Saturday, just to see how it goes. The client did not want to see this. Of course, the cable would have been hidden through the sleeve, but still, they didn't want to see this on their stage, so they decorated it with balloons. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
but it's fantastic. I mean, these pipes. I encourage our clients to do that. If you want to do it with our truss or our pipes, go for it. It's great, and they like it too. So.
Mm-hmm. No, it looks good.
Let me see. Where are we going next? Oh yeah, here we go. I'm really excited about this one. So. We just did this like last week. First time doing it. I've always wanted to do this. We used a pattern wash as an aisle runner for an outdoor wedding. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. They loved it. It was a surprise wedding. It was actually an 80s party, and then they surprised everybody halfway through and did a wedding. So these didn't come on until she was ready to walk down the aisle.
Oh, cool.
And then afterwards, we just opened up the shutters, and so that way you have the full the full pattern wash. And here you can see this is the aisle that was going to the house. So this is a nice, I was just so excited about doing this because this is the first, like a new creative way to use the standard pattern wash. It was just really cool.
Yeah, very neat, very neat. We got a couple of minutes left here, Jeremy, and we'll have to wrap things up. So I just want to give you that heads up.
Ceiling pattern washes here. Again, using the Source 4, we use them for stage lighting, for dance floor washes. So, that same light that you're going to invest in for pattern washes, they are theatrical light. So use them to light up the dance floor. The bride and groom, they need to be seen, especially for outdoor weddings or any wedding, honestly. It always bugs me that they're typically in the dark. So this is their first dance. And this is a nice little way that we mounted it up here in the top left. You can see on top of our truss that we use for the bistro lighting. So that was the wedding that we did.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, just throw it on the front garage. Why not? Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess, is there any questions about pattern washes?
No, just some really, really cool stuff. And you were saying that you can pick these up online, used for a couple hundred, $250.
Yeah, about I think about $250. Usedlighting.com, Clearwing Productions. I think they have a used pro shop as well. Any theatrical house, like a big theatrical house, will be selling these things like hotcakes typically. Especially used, and they've kept pretty good. Kept in pretty good shape.
Very nice.
Yeah, and you can get different effects. I mean, like anything, you can get rotators. You can get, this is where you put the different gels, the diffusions. I mean, you can just do so much with these, and they're really cool.
Yeah, great. Shut the full screen off for a sec.
Okay.
And we'll wrap up here. Good stuff. Good stuff. Jeremy, if people like to get in touch to ask questions or something to that effect, where can they go to get in touch with you?
Jeremy at, karmaeventlighting.com. And it'd just be Jeremy at karmaeventlighting.com. I know you like to keep it easy, just booking all the Jeremys in one night, might as well just make it easier on you. We're on to you, just so you know.
I had actually thought I've got, one more Jeremy. I was thinking, should I even do a live thing tonight? But he's...
Yeah. But, you can find me at on Facebook a lot, or even on our YouTube page. Always open to talk more. So.
Great stuff. I appreciate you being on tonight. Gang, we've got one more show tonight. We've got the crew from DJNTV. They'll be coming in, and we're going to be talking about things that people say to DJs and how to handle that. Jeremy, thanks for being on with me tonight.
Have a good one. See you guys.
We'll see you in just a few minutes, gang.